Well, welcome to episode 10 of the NJ Multi-Species Podcast. We made it. When we originally made this podcast, me and Chris said we were going to do 10 episodes, see if it would even make it, and then decide to continue it or not and revamp it. So, Chris, here we are, episode 10. We're still here.
Evening, Joe. How's it going, partner?
So, you feel like the podcast is going to move on past episode 10?
We could keep going. We could try 11. I'm
All
fine
right.
with that.
Oh, God. I have to look at this now without laughing.
What?
Nothing.
Laugh at what?
So tonight, we have fishing reports from around the state, some skillful angler updates, some updates of fishing we did. One of our friends snuck into the state on an airplane, went striper fishing for 2 days, and then snuck out of the state on an airplane without any of us knowing. We could talk about that.
I think he's stealing some of our trout right now.
Is he?
I swear to God, if he flies any of those trout back to Florida, I'm reporting.
I was hoping he would have no time. He was going to just be...
He told me he would have no time, and then he did it anyway.
Yeah, all right. So he probably missed the flight. Went trout fishing somewhere.
That's possible. Yeah, definitely possible.
So what else do we have going on, Chris? The guest tonight's Adam Mihara, South Jersey based angler who makes lures and sells lures. He's been waiting to get a piece of me for a long time.
Yeah, I think he's just going to come on and just try to rip you to shreds.
That's basically what. Yeah, I'm ready for it. I don't care. We went fishing last night with Lake Apacon Guide Service. It was horrible. I would never go again. It was absolutely just. It was horrible. I'm exhausted now. I don't want to even talk about it. Anyway,
Jesus Christ, you gonna fall asleep in the middle of the episode?
No, I am tired though from last night. And by the way,
yeah, I mean. You know, that cold snap probably messed with them a little bit. We caught some fish, but I mean, I didn't catch anything. What'd you catch? You caught a crappie?
I caught a crappie.
Aaron caught some walleye.
Aaron caught a walleye. Kevin, he had a striper on, lost it. But what I was going to say is, I think we fished Thursday night. It was phenomenal. The open boat that went out Thursday night, Kronk was on. They did great. He caught a really nice walleye on that open boat. Then Saturday night, the fishing was really good again. My daughter got her first walleye, 24 inches. So I thought that was awesome to see. Like she set out for it, and she stayed up for a walleye.
What time did you catch that? How late did she stay up?
We were into the boat launch by 2:30. She probably caught that walleye at like 2.
Damn. And that's her first skillful angler, or no?
Yeah, that's her first walleye too. So she could do her first.
Oh wow.
She could do.
She should retire from walleye fishing.
Yeah, well, going back to last night. I was really excited about last night because the fishing's been so good, and I said, oh, man, it's going to be me and Chris, Kevin Cool, and Aaron Graybill all on one boat. This is going to be unbelievable. We're going to kill it. And you would expect me to come on here and say, yeah, we did kill it because, I'm supposed to hype up my friend's guide service, but that's just not the way fishing is, like...
I mean, we're not going to lie about it.
We're not going to lie. The fishing sucked last night. All you could do is try as hard as you can. And like I said, Thursday night, awesome. Saturday night, awesome. Last night, we did horrible. We had Ed Hutter, and Kronk were out on another boat. They did horrible. I think they took a skunk. Nothing.
Yeah, I think Dwayne and Bergen were out there as well. They had a couple, but it definitely was nothing like they had the night that you were talking about. I think Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, whenever they went.
Yes. So from my fishing report, this cold thing going on right now is not great, and I don't think the fishing's going to get back to being that great till we're out of it. But it doesn't look like it's going to last that long.
It's the cold nights. I mean, it's sometimes it messes with a little bit. You never know, though. I mean, I'm going to go back out Thursday because I like to suffer.
Deuce, can you just try to patch John Dornan in for a bass report while we're talking about fishing reports?
We're doing this again?
If John's available and can give a bass report, because I don't have one, and then he's going to he has 5 minutes and then he's getting kicked off.
No, I'm setting a timer. He's got 4 minutes.
All right, he's got 4 minutes. If Deuce even finds him. But what else was going on? You went fluking, and that was very good, correct?
Yeah. You were supposed to come.
Yes.
That was. Oh, I won't call you a bailer again. I think I did that enough. But
oh, look, he came right. He's wearing the hat. He has the hat on from his tournament win. John, congratulations, man.
Yeah, your hat is okay for sure, I guess.
Can you turn your thing, John, so you go bigger? Your screen? There it is. Oh yeah. Look at him. There he is.
Yeah, that's better.
Now we can see him. John, congratulations. Awesome pictures. Love the hat photos. Awesome.
More for you guys. Thanks, man.
Just repping.
It kept the sun out of my eyes, that's for sure.
All right, so you have 4 minutes, John. Here, the timer's going to start now. You're going to tell us what's going on with bass fishing, and then you're getting kicked out.
You just kicked him out.
No, somebody's trying to call. All right, you good?
He kicked himself out now. No, John, you have 4 minutes.
Okay, here we go. I was just up in Connecticut. Our club did a tournament up there. The fish were still in the pre-spawn, most of them up there. The water was stabilized at like the mid-40s. But I ended up winning the tournament. I caught 3 pre-spawn females, and I got 2 limit fillers. So I got 3 good fish. But other guys said they seen them on nests. I didn't see any fish on nests. I did see nests, but they were abandoned. And last week I was out on Canaskeer Reservoir, and they weren't spawning yet. But that was right when it just started getting warm again. So this whole solid last week of warm weather, I'm sure they're spawning up in the reservoirs in North Jersey, all over New Jersey right now.
You're talking specifically the largemouths or the smallmouths as well?
Both largemouth and smallies. The smallies go before the largemouth.
So you're saying neither one had gone when you looked at, but the smallmouth you're anticipating are starting?
Yeah, I'm saying this week. Like I said, some of the guys in the tournament said that they seen largemouth on nests also, but from what I seen, it was mainly pre-spawn. But that's an hour and a half north of here. So in New Jersey right now, I would say the reservoirs, they're probably on nests right now, smallmouth and largemouth mix. I'm going to go out Saturday. I think I'm going to go on Clinton Saturday.
But you won the tournament and you won the lunker, right? You had
yeah.
Yep. You want to share what you caught that fish on, or you don't?
I caught it on a tube.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That'd be the last thing. I wouldn't even have one of those with me.
Well, there's a lot of big smallmouth and largemouth up there. Tubes are great baits.
Really?
Well, let me ask you something.
Old school, quick. Man.
Before we kick you out of here, let me ask you something.
I didn't even think anyone used tubes anymore. I really didn't.
Oh yeah. Listen, that's why they bite the tubes, because not many people use them anymore. People use them, I think.
All right, so you're talking about the Connecticut Lake. No one gives a crap. This is a New Jersey podcast. So in New Jersey, do you use tubes for smallmouth? Because it's really not a popular thing. I feel like down here.
Absolutely. My 2 biggest largemouth in New Jersey both came on a black neon Texas rig tube out of Split Rock Reservoir, and they were 8.5 pounds. My 2 biggest out of Jersey. And they were both on a tube, black neon 4-inch tube. The one had a 2-pound crappie in its stomach, and it still bit the tube.
Jeez.
Can I ask you, while you bring up Split Rock Reservoir, have you ever done as well fishing there again after they dropped it and worked on the dam?
I haven't been there in many years. I was there before the state bought it. I used to take my little 10-foot rowboat and throw it in the back and go to the back end and launch there. And every time I went there, I'd catch 5-6 pounders. Like it was the sickest fishing for bass. Period. And
it
like
was
I said,
it was one of my favorite places, but then they lowered it to work on the dam, and it just when they refilled it sucked. Never came back to normal again.
I haven't fished it in many years, but I'll tell you what, I caught so many 5 to 7 pounders there, and like I said, my 2 biggest 8.5s came out of there. So
I believe it.
We're at like 6 minutes. Get rid of them.
All right, John.
Nice.
John, congratulations, man. Keep ripping it
thanks,
up.
Man. Thanks.
Keep it up, man. Awesome.
Love to have.
Keep posting those reports. Oh, he's gone.
Okay, so John Dorn, Bass Report. Fluke Report, what did you have? Did you have anything to say about it or not?
Yeah, sure. Before you cut me off.
Okay.
Yeah, so we headed down the Shark River again. Surprisingly, it really wasn't that many people there. There was a lot fishing from shore and stuff. There wasn't too many boats out there. I mean, unfortunately, the boats that were there, a couple of guys are just, I mean, we had one guy in like a raft, right? So we're there early. We're the first ones in this spot over there. We're fishing the spot. The guy in the raft comes over. He starts fishing the spot, whatever. It kind of slows down. We go poke around some other holes and stuff. We didn't really find anything. We come back, kind of go back in our spot pretty much where we were. He hadn't really moved. Guy starts yelling at us. Oh, you got the whole bay. I'm like, dude. You don't have the whole bay. Most of this bay is 2 feet deep. I'm like, but we were here before you. We just checked off. Like, what are you talking about? Shut your mouth. I'm like, people are just idiots sometimes. And then after that, we had some spear fishermen, right? So you ever see the spear fishermen they got the floating flags, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that the boats. So you're in a boat, right? You got to stay a certain distance away from them so you know where they are. Which, all right, obviously. That's a safety. That's great. So we're sitting there fishing. These guys are swimming into where we're fishing, spear fishing. So they're coming within the range, like doing the reverse, breaking the rule in reverse, coming right on top of us spear fishing. And us and this other boat are just like, well, what the hell is going on here?
At one point, you're making me very happy I didn't go to this.
Well, you missed tons of fluke being caught, but I mean, at one point I said, the guy's like, I got to take a piss. I'm about to piss on these guys. I offered him $100 if he could shoot a piss stream directly into the snorkel tube.
Really? They get that close?
No, he was close enough at one point. The guy could have pissed right in the snorkel tube.
Oh, my God.
We all yelled at him, and they swam away and whatever. Anyway, as far as the fishing went, I mean, it was good. The fish were definitely picky. They actually wanted basically no movement. Whatever movement the current provided to your lure. If you flipped your bucktail rig out with a killian on it and you left it there and you didn't touch it, that's when you got hit. If you moved it around too much, they just seemed to not care. It was strange.
Did you have anything else on with the killie, or what were you? Any teasers or anything?
I had a teaser on mine. I had like a little pink squid skirt on mine. It didn't really seem to make that much of a difference either way, plain or skirt.
And for just so everyone knows, this year it's 2 fish from 17 to 18 and 1 fish over 18.
Right, that's right. Yep.
Okay.
You finally got a regulation, correct? Yep.
No, I'm always right on the regulations. I'm just wrong about which species are evasive. Like Eddie's walleye, he called it one of those evasive walleye. He killed it immediately. I
thought that. And I've said this to people before when they start complaining about it. Oh, the invasive snakeheads, the invasive flathead. And I'm like, all right, I get the concern when it first starts showing up or whatever, they first get released into the water. I get that. But when it gets to a point where you cannot stop it anymore, and it hasn't done the damage anywhere near what they tried to scare you in believing it was going to do, it kind of becomes time to just accept it that it's here. Let nature take care of it. Nature's going to do what it's going to do. Nature's going to find a way. Okay. And the only real difference between an invasive species and an introduced species is, what some government employee decided, we didn't have walleye. They decided, we could stock walleye. It's safe for the ecosystem. Put it in there. All right, it's good.
That's a little different than this.
I don't think it is really.
That's an actual game species that was introduced to, be there. The other one isn't.
Snakeheads and flatheads are game species in other places.
I was against this with you, and you swayed me to be on your side, so I agree with you now, because I see it with the lanternflies. Like, I still see Facebook posts from my town of, like, oh my God, I saw a lanternfly. I had to kill it and call the phone number. I'm like, there's millions of these things on the lake. Like, you're killing one isn't going to, I don't know what to, it's just.
Stepping on a dozen lanternflies isn't going to do anything. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. That's a fantasy,
just saying, I understand now that the snakehead thing is too far gone to be, and, it has to be accepted as a game fish. I'm so sorry, Andy.
Right. Look, I'm not saying like go throw random fish everywhere. Like, eventually it's going to mess up. But it is what it is. It happened. You're not stopping it. And especially in South Jersey. And I mean, we could talk to Adam about it too. I don't know how he feels about it. But
let's actually.
All they have down there is largemouth and panfish. Now they have, and bowfin, and now they have snakeheads. They have another game species. They're not eating all the bass. It's not happening. They're eating some of the bass. The bass are eating some of their fry. It's nature finds a way. It just happens.
That's a line stolen from Jurassic Park. You're gonna get us sued by Jurassic Park, dude.
I don't care. Look what I'm wearing on my head. I had to black out my screen because I couldn't take myself seriously. I couldn't look at myself.
How much time did you spend making those paper teeth?
They're not paper. Those are real teeth.
Oh, those are real teeth. Oh,
yeah.
Well, before we start talking about some of the shit that's going on the internet, because I do want to get the page back to fishing page out of this dramatic soap opera that it's turned into. Let's see if we could get Mihara in here. So Adam Mihara is a guy from South Jersey who has been wanting to just bash me since this podcast's first episode. So we figured here's the 10th one. He's perfect for it. He's basically coming on to tell us about shitty pizza, bowling with his friends, and cranberry juice, because I don't know what else he's going to talk about. Okay, so our next guest is a pretty much fishing ambassador for South Jersey. He holds the state up, a true representative of the sport, continuously seen on the Skillful Angler leaderboard in all kinds of species, even though he's in South Jersey. I'm very happy to have Frank Rosinski on tonight. Frank, how are you?
Joe, are you what? You did not get enough sleep last night. This is Adam.
Oh, this is Adam's the bowler. God. Oh, the bowling guy. Adam Mihara. Oh, I'm sorry. Jesus. I got it mixed up. Adam Mihara, the lure maker from where are you from, Adam?
South Jersey. Oh my God.
I represent South Jersey, and I want to first say thank you guys for letting me come on the podcast. I appreciate it. I'm actually the nicest guy on the planet, and what I portray online is a complete troll of your Facebook group. So if anybody reads anything from me and they think that I'm just a jerk, please don't believe it. And please don't believe anything else that happens on this podcast.
Oh, my friend Dave Katowski called me saying, like, that guy called me a boomer. He's like, what's a boomer? I had to.
Look, I think anyone who has their feelings easily hurt probably is long, long gone from that page. Not that, it's all fun. I mean, it's hilarious. The page is hilarious. Anyone with a sense of humor is going to enjoy it. Anyone who gets their feelings hurt easily, like I said, is probably long gone. I don't think you need to worry about that.
Well, that poor guy, Dave, I called him a boomer, and he's like, is that an insult? I'm like, no, you're probably like 5 years older than me. So I'm just messing with him. Like, he wrote a book. So I'm like, okay, boomer.
Yes. Okay, boomer. So tell us, before we get lost in everything else, your website. You specifically make handcrafted lures. Handcrafted by knife?
By knife. Every cut and every, smoothing, my laundry's going. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I can't hear it.
Everything I do is done by hand in my garage, one at a time. It's not like I have a production line or anything like that. I'm just, one guy doing his thing. And I've been teaching myself how to make fishing lures. So I've been building stuff like this in my garage by hand.
You know what? I actually did not know. When you said by hand, I figured you were using some kind of tool other than a knife. You're literally carving these with a knife. You're not using some kind of like mini Dremel tool, nothing like that?
No. I'm using a coping saw to cut out the general shape, and then I'm using a knife to cut out like the edges and
that's all wood.
This is wood. This is
doesn't
pine.
even look like wood, right, Chris? It looks like plastic. It doesn't look like wood.
Well, you're covering it with some kind of resin after you paint it and all that, right?
Right. I've developed a process over time in order to make it look a lot better, because my early ones looked like crap.
I'm glad you said it, because I wanted to say,
no.
I was like, dude, when you first started, I'm like, it's awesome as a hobby, but like, I was like, does those look like a 2-year-old drew it in school and their mom threw it in the garbage when they weren't looking? It's awful.
Funny you mention that.
But you have come a long way.
One of the people who
time.
commented on it said, "Oh, my preschooler could do better than you." I'm like, damn, wow, that's content. I could put that on my site. Better than a preschooler. Oh yeah.
Carve it into the lures.
What made you get into this? Because it's not something that, like, it's not a hobby that I've ever met anyone else. I mean, I know guys love making lures and stuff, but this, like, handcrafted wooden thing. What made you get into this?
Well, I was always into fly tying and jig making, so I'll make like hair jigs, and I've been making them for years, since I was 13 years old. But as for the wood carving, I never knew how to do it. In 2020, I lost my mother, and I needed something like an outlet in order to go through my feelings and emotions and what I was going through.
Sorry to hear that.
Thanks. It was rough, and I found marling baits on YouTube, because around the same time I started a YouTube channel and an Instagram, and I was like, "Oh, this might make really good content. People might want to see this." So I started carving out like stupid little lures that, like you said, look like crap. I'm like, I'm sure I could do better at this if I learned how. So I started, working on it and trying to work on the action of the bait first, rather than try to make it look good. I could figure I could spend years and years making things look good, but if they don't swim right, then
that's the important part.
So every single thing I make swims, and it swims like a real fish.
Does everything you make catch fish? Like, does it come with a guarantee?
The hair jigs will, but I don't know if the hard baits. I mean, I can catch fish with them, but is it the Indian or is it the arrow?
Are these things field tested, or are they just carved up and tossed right in the packaging?
No, every single one is field tested before I put it up for sale.
And does it have to catch a fish?
It doesn't have to catch fish, but most
so there are there are ones that have never caught a fish for sale.
Right, because I've only thrown them like 2 or 3 times and
let's just get that clear.
Yeah.
What are you getting at? What are you getting at, Joe?
He's selling lures that don't work, and he doesn't know if they work either. That's what I'm getting at. So let me ask you this: when because I'm browsing through some of your stuff, and you could see one wooden bait is $10, and then there's another wooden bait. Some of them go up $60. They get fairly expensive. What differentiates the big price difference? Is it the material that's used for it?
A lot of it has to do with my time. Some of it has to do with the material. If I use a more expensive wood, that's going to cost a lot more. If I use, Dollar Tree pine, that's going to be a much less expensive lure.
So I know there's some bad, just like any other hobby. I mean, there's more sub hobbies in fishing than probably anything else. That's one of the great things about it. And for me, I want lures that are going to catch fish, period. I don't really care what they look like. I don't care, that it's a collector's item or whatever. There are guys that collect lures, and I don't know if some of them actually use them or if they literally just hang them up in a display or something. What's your most expensive lure that you sell?
Right now, I have a $50 lure up for sale on the Crafty Fisherman website.
So now, if someone buys that, you think they're buying it to use it, or are they a collector and they just it's a piece of art to them and they're hanging it in their display?
I hope that they use it because that's what they're meant for. In fact, I listened to another podcast called Made to Cast, and it's made for just bait makers. Because one of the problems with bait making is that we find these people who just buy these lures to collect them, but they're made to be casted and used and catch fish with. It's the biggest high we can get if we get a picture back from somebody that says, hey, look, I caught, a giant walleye on your lure, or this muskie, ate your, spinner that you made. That feeling is like nothing else. I could catch hundreds of fish on my baits.
Am I still getting a free glow in the dark lure for you coming on here? Is that still happening?
Maybe.
I want Chris, look at that thing, dude. It glows in the dark too.
It looks nice. Does it catch fish though? You realize, hold on. If you give him that lure and he doesn't catch a fish on it, my God, you will never hear the end of it.
I'll go on Angie's list.
I have confidence that this will catch a fish. I have no doubt that it will. But I have some demands.
Oh boy.
I have some demands.
Here we go. South Jersey demands.
How long is that glow in the dark lure? How long is it?
This is 5 inches.
And how much does that cost if I went to buy it?
If you went to buy this, it would be like a $25, $30 lure.
And what makes it glow in the dark? Does it need reflection of the moon, or it just glows by itself?
You have to put a flashlight or a UV light, black light onto it, and then it'll glow.
Okay, now one more question. And I know I'm going too fast, but is there something because nothing in nature really actually glows like that, but have you seen fish hit that while it's glowing green?
Saltwater fish like stripers love it.
Okay, so then freshwater fish probably would too, right?
I assume so. I would think that walleye do, but
yeah, I need one of those, Chris. I need that thing. I want it. Look at the lip on it too.
I posted a couple videos on my Facebook and Instagram of how it swims. Very tight action, like an alewife.
Yeah.
I put a foil reflector on it.
Chris, it's got prism, dude.
Yeah, it has a holographic foil on it.
I kind of gave him some,
how deep
pointers of what, because
how deep does that lure dive? Is it a diver?
It's a diver. It goes down to about 3-4 feet.
Okay.
More if you troll
if you
it.
reel it slow, will it stay near the surface?
Yeah, can I have a customized one with a much shorter lip on it that barely dives?
He wants a different one.
I can do that. I can make it wake. I can make it, splash. I can put propellers on it. Whatever you like.
That's pretty cool, actually. That is cool.
No, that is awesome.
You can make a mouse.
Do you design your lures specifically to target a specific species, or do you just make a generalized lure that can catch anything?
It depends. If I'm doing a custom for somebody and they tell me I'm going after pike and muskie, I'm gonna upgrade their hardware. I'm gonna use like the toughest stuff I can get because they're tough fish, big fish, and if they bend out of trouble, then that person loses the fish. I don't want that to happen. But if somebody says, I want a bait for a snakehead, I'm gonna make something that is gonna, work for snakehead specifically. For myself, I actually make lures for a specific lake.
Do you really?
I will. Like, if I know that there's gizzard shad that are, this big at a certain body of water, and they have a blue back, or they've got like pink in the belly or whatever, I will do that.
Now, so I never used to make plugs like that out of wood, out of plastic, nothing. But I do sometimes make. I've made my own molds before to pour plastics into for like soft plastic baits, and I've done like you. I've made specific baits for specific lakes, like in a certain color or something, and I've done just that. Like if I want to match the hatch. You know what I like to do? I used to like to go a little bit bigger than the average size of whatever it was to try to make it kind of stand out from that, like I'm matching the hatch, but it's hopefully a little bit juicier of a target. You know what I mean? A little bigger than the average of what you'd see there.
And I can definitely do that. One of the things I'll do on a lot of my baits is put 2 little red dots on the tail end of them. If you've ever used a Rattling Rogue, they used to put that red dot on the back end of the bait. And I love that. I don't know why it worked or if it even does work, but I'll do that to a lot of my baits just because.
I mean, to a person, it's like, yeah, there's a target on there for the fish to hit. Does the fish care? Who knows? But you know what? If it works in your mind and it gives you a little bit extra confidence and you can cast more and hold on to that confidence that every cast is going to get hit, then, whether it actually works or not, it works.
See, if I did this and I came up with some like lure that was awesome and it was just out fishing everything, it wouldn't be for sale. I wouldn't sell it. I would just keep making them for me, and that's it.
Well, I've got plenty for myself now, and given my ability to make something, I can just make a new one. And if I lose it, or if I, feel like, I need 2 of those.
Yeah, he's saying he wouldn't share. Like he's just a greedy bastard. He wouldn't share it with anyone. He wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not.
You got any? You don't do that. Do you do that? Do you have any lures that you made that you invented and you're like, oh, this works so good. I'm never gonna tell anyone about this. I'm gonna be a greedy bastard like Joe.
Not at all, because people don't believe that they work. They only see me catch anything on them because, like I said, nobody else ever tells me if they work. So I'm guessing that they probably do, and they don't want other people to know.
I'm curious.
Wait a second. Hold on, Joe. Wait, one second. So you're telling me you got customers buy your lures, right? Let's say this guy buys a lure. You never hear from him again, but he keeps buying more of the lures.
Never again.
But he keeps buying those lures.
They buy multiple.
They work. These guys are like Joe. They're trying to keep it a secret.
Well, like I said, I'm curious because like the lip on that lure he just showed us, we're used to the soft plastic cutting through the water. Like, that thing's made of wood, and wood floats like hell. Like, that it has to have a totally different action to it than a fiberglass lure like we're used to using. It has to.
Well, what are you comparing it to? Like a husky jerk?
I mean, if you compared that lure right there to the equal size Rapala jointed, like, there's no way they run the same. One's made of wood and one's made of...
Completely different action, but that's also due to the shape. And also, there's lead in these. So that way they're weighted and they sit upright in the water. If I didn't put the weight in them, they would never work. And weight is one of the biggest problems for a bait maker. If you put the weight in the wrong place, that bait is trash.
So you basically could spend... How long does it say? Let's say that lure in your hand. How long does it take to make that lure?
You know, in theory, I could finish this in about 6 hours.
So 6 hours of your time, and then you get down to the lake, and that thing swims in sideways, and it's going in the garbage. It's a weight.
Exactly. So everyone that I put up for sale works because I tested it.
All right, so you could totally understand why these would cost a little more than your traditional machine manufactured lure from China.
Absolutely, because I put so much time into them. And sometimes they take days and days to finish because I'm not working on them, steadily. I have a full-time job.
Of course, we all do. We all understand that.
But I heard because people are out there fishing, and putting things on the New Jersey certification board left and right.
Well, that's Chris. He doesn't work, but I do work. I actually work.
I work. I prioritize fishing.
He basically goes to work and fishes the rest of it. We're not even sure if he eats. He has like IV bags in his fishing bag just to rehydrate himself or something.
Listen to me. I've told you before. I'll say it again. Hunger and temperature are just states of mind. You can fight through all of it. That's it.
Yeah. If he's hungry while he's fishing, that's a theory of mine that you're more prone to catch fish because you're hungry and your primal instinct is like, I gotta eat, I gotta catch this fish.
Yes.
So maybe it's something.
Speaking of fish, now that we plugged the lure company, that's out of the way. Let's talk about.
Oh, did you hold on? He didn't say his website. I don't think.
What's your website to buy the lures?
So I sell through craftyfisherman.com. And I'll send you guys a link to put into the podcast YouTube video. And they help out other small businesses besides me to have basically a website, full service website to sell, handmade lures. They don't have any big name companies on there. It's just all individuals like me selling flies, jigs, jerk baits, anything that people make.
Oh, that's okay. So say it again. Say the name of it again.
Called craftyfisherman.com.
And then you'd have to go on craftyfisherman.com and search for Adam Mihara.
You want to search for AM Anglers.
You have shirts too? Where's Where's my shirt? He's got shirts.
That's another part of marketing. I told you I have demands.
Oh my. What are those demands he's holding? They look like one of those hostage note situations where he's going to drop paper at a time. What is that?
We'll let you do that in a second. Hold on 1 second. We just got to take a quick break for one of our sponsors before
negotiation. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
It's fine. You know what? He can do what. This is the People's Podcast, the People's Facebook page on Mayhem. He can do whatever he wants, but we just got to take a quick break for one of our sponsors, and that's Taylor Ham. Delicious and definitely not disgusting like what pork. What do you guys call it? Pork love handles or whatever the hell you call it down there.
I've got menus from several South Jersey small businesses that all say pork roll on them.
All right, Nina's Market in Marlton. We'll send her a bill for advertisement. Who's next?
We got Dad's Deli.
Dad's Deli at Marlton, same town, competition. You're going to get charged even more.
and the Kettle and Grill.
Oh, and others, they're all in the same town. Marlton.
Well, when you guys only
That sounds
talk
like
about
Chris. That sounds exciting.
county,
Marlton. I live in Marlton. We got great pizza in Marlton.
I made a graph for you about how many times you mentioned a lake on this podcast. Here's Hopatcong.
Yeah.
Here's Round Valley.
Hopatcong's the biggest lake in New Jersey, by the way. Round Valley's the second biggest.
Here's Lake Ontario, which isn't even in New Jersey. We've got the Delaware River, and then anywhere else.
Dude,
that's how often they're mentioned on this podcast.
Okay, what he just did, make sure that becomes a short. Make sure that's a short, please.
I want to clear this up. So
Bravo.
Bravo. When we were going to start this podcast, one of the biggest things, the biggest possible backlashes that we faced was spot burning. And so we basically came to the agreement that we were going to minimize mentioning most smaller lakes that couldn't necessarily handle the increased pressure. So your graph is accurate, but
please post that graph to Mayhem.
It is by design. It is by design. Okay. Lake Hopatcong is the state's largest lake. It's probably, arguably, the most popular one to fish, right? It's talked about the most. And you can use things that you hear from Lake Hopatcong to kind of, like, if you're going to a smaller lake in that same region, you can kind of use what you heard about Lake Hopatcong and modify it to whatever lake you're going to go to. That's kind of the theory of it. So we're giving people access to tools to become better at fishing, but without just blowing to pieces these smaller places.
But do you realize how many lakes over 300 acres are south of 195?
What lake is in Marlton? What lake?
I'm in the middle of
fishing's going on in Marlton.
There is no fishing in my town, unfortunately, so I have to drive at least 20 minutes to any boat ramp in any direction.
I live in Bergen County. I know your pain.
So
there's actually places to fish here, but people just stare at you like they're like, "What's he doing?" He's like, "What is that person? What is that pole in his hand? He's a terrorist." They don't know what's happening when you fish.
Yeah, and then what happens when you catch a fish?
Oh,
kill it immediately and eat it, and you throw it back. Then what? Then you're even more of a weirdo.
Adam,
he just caught that fish and threw it back.
I don't like to admit this, but I'll admit it to you. My parents owned a vacation little home in off exit 52, New Gretna. So I grew up probably maybe 15 years. I was down in the Pine Barrens every weekend.
You were in the swamps of South Jersey then?
I was every weekend. My wife that I'm married to now was with me every weekend we spent in the Pine Barren. So I have spent, as much as I break your balls, I've spent a lot of time down there too. But I'm still not going to defend the pizza is god horrible. It's awful. Pizza's disgusting.
We're not going to go into that direction.
You guys can't even make a fucking hot dog down there. It's just a disgrace. But
the thing is, you don't even have the Atlantic Ocean on this graph. We have the largest beaches off our coast of any state.
Listen, as soon as this airs,
I didn't say the word Atlantic Ocean doesn't mean I wasn't talking about saltwater fishing. It's just implied.
As soon as this podcast airs, make sure that graph is posted to Mayhem immediately because I love it. Like, you got us. You just burned us. Every joke we had prepared for you, you just got us. We're beaten. I admit defeat, and I'm done. I lose.
But listen, in all seriousness, like, we don't get down to South Jersey that much. And honestly, I mean, you guys, I'm sure, have great fishing there in certain spots and whatnot. But I'm not going to drive down to South Jersey to fish for largemouth just because I might catch one that's like 2 inches bigger than I have up here. You know what I mean? But I will, like, I will go down to South Jersey, and I do every once in a while to fish for snakeheads and to try to fish for bowfin. I have not been successful with the bowfin yet, but I just wanted to ask you, like, we were talking about it before you came on a little bit. What are your feelings being in South Jersey where these snakeheads, did what they did? They got in everywhere and they did what they're going to do, and they're not going anywhere. And you got guys who hate them, think that there's, even after decades of them being there, they still think one day that all the bass are going to be gone because they ate them all, and they're just going to take over everything, and they're going to destroy the ecosystem. And then you got guys, and this is the side that I kind of lean with, is just like, it's there, it is what it is, nature will do what nature does, and you need to just accept them as another game fish that you have access to.
Well,
What do you
you've
think?
hit a topic that I'm pretty passionate about. In my background, I went to.
They have a movie theater in Martin.
Put that away. We're fucking talking about something serious.
In my background, I went to college at Virginia Tech for fisheries science. So I look at this from a biology point of view.
Okay.
And right now, the biologists in New Jersey have said that when you catch a snakehead, you're supposed to dispatch it and kill it, remove it from the waterway that it's in. A lot of people are going to say, well, that doesn't do anything. You just removed one fish. What do you think you're doing? I don't want to kill it. For me, it's a scientific thing. If I remove that one breeding adult from the population, then I'm removing possibly 4 generations of snakehead from that year's spawn from that body of water. And I am putting a dent in the population just by removing that one fish. The other thing is, why are the biologists in New Jersey telling us this is the directive? I know that there's evidence from Maryland that says the Potomac River, which is a much larger and different fishery than anything we have in South Jersey, says that the damage isn't as great as they expected, but they're still not sure yet. I've done a lot of research on that, and my recommendation to everybody is to kill them on site because that's what's recommended by New Jersey Fish and Game.
Well,
I have
supposedly they're phenomenal to eat, though, correct?
Right. And everybody who has ever eaten one has told me the same. They said that it's a delicious fish. If you catch one, it's a great fight. Lots of my friends enjoy going for them. People like Chris have driven all the way down from North Jersey just to, go for them. So it could be a potential game fish, yes, but we have no regulation on them right now at all. There's 0 regulations because it's not considered a game fish. It's considered invasive. So maybe if New Jersey had regulations on them, I could understand releasing them. But right now there are no regulations, so the directive is kill them all.
Well, I gotta share this story. Real quick. So one time when I'm down there, we're snakehead fishing. Me and my buddy Luke were snakehead fishing, and we caught a handful. It's a pretty decent day, and they taste great. That'd be great if we were in a little canoe. If I had more room and I had a cooler, I would have kept some to eat. I'm not against keeping any fish to eat, whatever. We let them all go. I don't want to really kill a fish for no reason. I don't really believe that it does anything. I get your point of it, but we released them all. All right. So when we're coming out of the water body over there and we're packing our stuff away, a conservation officer comes, driving down the road. He pulls over because he sees we were fishing. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, is this guy going to ask, like, if we caught snakeheads and then if we, like, released them and then, like, bust our balls over it? And I'm thinking that in my head. So the guy comes out, and, how's it going, guys? We had our fishing licenses. We gave it to him. He checked. Yeah, how are you guys doing? How'd you do? Did you catch it? And I just said, I'm like, yeah, we caught some snakeheads, caught like 6 or 7 snakeheads. And the guy, I'm wait, I was curious. I wanted to see, and he goes, oh yeah, they're fun, right? Yeah, we came from all the way to North Jersey to fish for him. He's like, yeah, he did not even mention any. He said, oh, you're supposed to kill him. He didn't say anything about it. He just like started talking to us about how cool of a game fish they were and how like he was basically glad that they now had more game fish species, I'll use quotes, I guess, to target instead of just bass and some panfish or whatever. And we talked for a little bit, and that was it. And then he went on his way, and he went to go check some other people's licenses and stuff down the road there. And I was just like, that's awesome that he's kind of like, whether he's, I guess he's not going with protocol. He's just, doing his own thing or whatever. But I thought it was cool that he kind of felt like me and it's just at the point where you just got to accept it for what it is.
Well, I'm not okay with accepting it. I am okay with regulating it, which is something that nobody seems to want to do.
I see. That I think would be the common ground, right?
I agree. Yeah.
Well, you could use whatever word you want, but let's just say you accept it as a game fish and you regulate it.
Do you fish for them, Adam, at all, or no?
Not on purpose. I know where they are. I know how to catch them.
Chris,
I don't actively pursue them because then I'd be destroying fish left and right. And
he said he knows where they are.
Wait, hold on. You sound like you're just torn to shreds inside of yourself right now. Like you like them, you like the way they fight, you like the way they taste, but you don't want to kill them for no reason. So you don't even want to fish for them because then you'll feel like you're obligated to do it.
I don't know. I don't actively target them, so that way I'm murdering every fish in the state, leaving a blood trail behind me.
But
wherever
you don't have to. You don't have to kill them.
But if I catch one, I do. Because that's the biologist in me. I'm like, this doesn't belong. It came from
listen, it is the rule. It's the written rule in the compendium. So I mean,
I don't. I think the way it's written, there's gray area there.
No, it's written that the fish is to not be returned to the water. I mean, it's pretty clear the fish is to not be returned to the water.
So everything that I've ever caught has been dispatched and either filleted, given to somebody, or disposed of.
What do you mean disposed of? Like you were just burying them somewhere?
I put them in a trash.
Yeah, well, Chris, that's the law.
If I did everything the government told me to do, I'd be fucking dead.
Right, but you don't come from a biologist background like I do.
He's turning it political. He's making the podcast political. He's ruining it now.
I'm not making anything political. I have a degree in human physiology. I do have a scientific background, not marine biology. But I will tell you, Justin Lerner does have a background in marine biology, and he feels the way I feel. So I want to say, in the future, Joe and I plan on having episodes that are kind of like debate episodes where we will have 2 guests on that have 2 opposing views, and we'll kind of moderate a discussion about stuff like this. And there you go. There's your first potential episode, because that's 2 people with similar backgrounds in the topic that have 2 totally different opinions about it.
So you're saying you want to watch Mihara and Lerner fight over snakeheads? Sounds interesting to me.
Yeah, and I mean, and if they can't, if there's no decisive winner on the debate by the end of the show, we get a cage match and they rip their shirts off and just beat the shit out of each other for 10 minutes. I
have to side with Adam because it's what the law is. I mean,
oh yeah, Joe always follows the law. That is.
I mean, I do usually. I follow the fish and game laws pretty closely. I would say, that's the rule.
I follow the ones that make sense.
No, you follow the ones that are convenient to your liking, and that's it. Like you're an outlaw. That's all.
Joe, on this, I think that you're not following the rules on this because you just don't want to.
He's picking and choosing what he wants. He's just ridiculous. He's becoming a dictator.
I didn't vote on that rule.
Adam, this
vote as a
podcast
citizen. I
hasn't.
didn't vote on
He's
that rule.
become starstruck from this stupid podcast. It's not the same person.
I understand it. I've seen it happen over the 9-10 episodes that we've done.
You've seen his progression to this prima donna, right? Because I've seen it.
It's a spiral. I don't know what else to say.
It is ridiculous. But
he sits there watching every episode with pineapple flavored lemonade and pork jelly roll sandwiches. Hey, you know what? Leave it for the debate episodes.
All right, Adam. One more time, give us that website where everyone can find your lures.
It's craftyfisherman.com.
Craftyfisherman.com. Chris is pointing at Taylor Ham.
Brought to you by Taylor Ham.
Craftyfisherman.com. Sponsored by Taylor Ham. Taylor Ham, not pork jelly roll from South Jersey.
I got one other thing to say to you guys.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My friend Ken Beam.
Oh, no. Wait, you weren't supposed to say that. Now we have to put the turkey sound back in the show again over that.
You can leave that out if you want.
That costs us money. You know that, right?
No, you could leave it in, but we have to turkey sound his name now.
You have to bleep me.
All right, what is this shit you want to start?
So, just stop calling him a communist and stop sending him Sasquatch porn.
Who did that? Hold on.
Getting in my DMs.
In all seriousness,
Ken Beam is sending you Sasquatch pornography?
People from your group are telling me that they are sending Ken Sasquatch pornography.
I have no control over those people at all.
That at all. No, listen.
And everybody's calling him a communist, which I've met Ken several times. He's always been good to me, so I'm not gonna,
Now I'm interested. I am interested now. So if you talk to him, right?
Yeah.
So I would love to know what went through his mind, because he didn't talk to anyone of us. He was thumbs upping the hat pictures that everyone was doing, right? We didn't plan any of this, just to be clear. Someone photoshopped some kind of hat that looked like his on someone's head. Then another guy said, "That looks awesome. Give me one." Then another guy got it. Then eventually it was a copy of his actual hat, like one of these, which does look awesome. And everyone wanted a hat on their head. So you give the people what they want. Everyone's getting a hat. I mean, that's innocent enough.
I get that.
So the hat pictures made their way onto his page. Now, he starts thumbs upping the pictures, commenting on them. I said, "Oh, okay. If everyone's having fun with this, let it roll." Maybe a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks go by. Then out of nowhere, I get a message. I'm banned from NJ Fishing. What the? So I go on there to see, like, let me see what's happening. I'm blocked. I can't say anything. I can't talk to him. I can't contact him. I contact someone. "Hey, can you get in touch?" It was like burn the whole forest down. Everyone is blocked and banned. Nothing was said. Nobody knows what happened.
I think I have an idea, but it's all part of that whole contest thing, where it looks like somebody's trying to benefit from that. And
well, yeah, now it's a contest. We're double downing on it.
It almost seems like internet bullying at that point. So then the ban hammer starts coming out and ban. Hell, I might get banned for being on this podcast. I don't know.
You get a free entry into the contest if that happens.
We don't ban it.
I don't want to go trolling on Lake Ontario. That sounds boring.
Oh, come on.
So we have a Ken Beam defender who has snuck his way and infiltrated himself.
No, he didn't. That's totally fine. I said right on the Ken can come on here and say whatever he wants, because I don't know what the hell happened.
Adam, the bottom line is the page is censored too strongly. It's completely controlled by one person that absolutely does not represent New Jersey fishing in any way, shape, or form. That page, it doesn't have any. All the best fishermen in the state of New Jersey aren't in that page. I could read them off one by one. They're not in that page. They're gone.
Well, he just started removing them.
Well, that's fine.
There's 25,000 other people on that page, though.
There's 24,000 Russian mail order bride fake accounts because it's a public group.
If she wants to buy some of my lures, I'm okay with it.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm good.
But like
that page should not be called NJ Fishing. He should change the name to Ken Beam's Glamour Show, or it's not NJ Fishing 0. He represents nothing.
If he wants to take his ball and go home, he's allowed. It's his site, and if anybody's...
I agree.
He's free to have the site. All his moderators are now on my page. He could have it.
That's great, and I posted both.
This is not a pissing match.
I didn't send him Sasquatch porn. I didn't tell anyone to do that.
But he did.
I didn't. I didn't know anything about that. I think it's fantastic.
Well, what happened was when he started banning people because they put a thumbs up on a hat picture that he was also thumbs upping, and then he banned them because they're on our page. Like, people get pissed off and they just go rogue. That's what's happening.
People are associating that and that hat with Sasquatch getting...
What's your thoughts on the 4x6 glossy photos with the muscular pose with the autograph? Do you have one of those?
I do it. I do it in a heartbeat. I should have done it already.
Should have done what? Made autographed
photos of me holding up a bat, because that's all I can catch. So,
you don't find this shit to be ludicrous? Like, it's not crazy to you? This is sane behavior of a person?
Absolutely, it's crazy. I love it.
Oh God!
I go to your site and I troll everybody. It's fantastic.
Oh my! I don't know what to say.
Busting is part of fishing. It just is.
I'm enjoying every second of all of it because I'm not involved. But
we're not involved either. We're not involved.
The only thing I ask is don't call him a communist, because he's not. He's a patriot. He produces, a lot of good content on his site.
What does he do? He makes turkey calls at old bones. What good content? I mean, come on. Give me a break here with this good content. This guy hasn't put up a fish that I would even look twice at. He catches pickerel and snakehead, fishes in some shithole septic tank that I would never even want to look at. He sends Chris private messages all fucking day asking, how do I catch a lake trout? I can't figure it out. Somebody help me, please. I mean, the guy, I've had it with this. Now my podcast is turning into a fucking soap opera because of it. I don't even want to talk about this clown show no more. It's a circus act. The page is useless. No one gives a shit. All the best fishermen in the state are now in mayhem. End of story. Done. You're done. No one cares. Goodbye to you.
Look how much attention you're giving him. This is wonderful. I love it.
Yes. Here's your attention. Your 10 minutes of fame. Just remember, we made your fucking hat more famous in 5 minutes than you did in your whole fucking lifetime. How's that sound, asswipe?
That might be true,
but sending your fucking pork rolled Taylor ham spy in here, because I don't give a shit about that either. Boot his ass out, dude.
Someone turn Joe's microphone off. Jesus Christ. Where did he go? Did he go off?
All right, dude. Let's record the ending.
That was a bit much, don't you think?
All right, so Adam Mihara, hand-carved lures. They're available online.
Are you gonna leave all that?
I have no idea. I've had it with this because I really have, and I've had it. I want the podcast to go back to fishing. I've had enough of this now. No, I've had it. I don't
think that's how you do it. We still got 2 weeks in the contest.
This guy just infiltrated this podcast. He got in here. I've had it with this.
He didn't. Who cares? Ken Beam himself can fucking come on here. You need to control yourself.
I'm perfectly composed.
No, you weren't.
I'm fine.
No, you lost it.
I didn't lose.
Did he hang up or did you drop him? He just texted me. He said, "Am I banned?"
Can we bring him back in?
Let him back on.
Bring him back in.
That was a joke. Joe,
yeah, we were just kidding.
Smooth it over.
We were just kidding. Okay. So Adam, what was the website again to buy your lures from?
CraftyFisherman.com.
CraftyFisherman.com. Chris?
CraftyFisherman.com. This is Adam Mihara. Some pretty cool looking baits. In all seriousness, dude, they look really nice. And
no, the baits. In all seriousness, the baits I am impressed with. They're nice, even though now you are my mortal enemy for life.
They are. I'm okay with that. I'm cool.
They are nice lures. I still want
the
my
people.
But like I said, I had demands. My demands have been met. No. And I'll be happy to send you guys not only a glow-in-the-dark lure, but I'll have a T-shirt for both of you.
Ooh.
Yes.
All right.
I'm a medium.
And I would love to sponsor a future episode of the podcast.
Whoa!
Oh, so all right.
Let's talk about that and see if AM Anglers and New Jersey Multi-Species can get together and do something.
You have to put the hat picture on NJ Fishing, or no deal. You have to.
Damn it.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
Non-negotiable. Non-negotiable.
I will give one of our viewers a free custom lure.
Fine deal.
What's the stipulation on that, though?
They have to put a hat picture on NJ Fishing.
If I'm sponsoring a future episode, in that episode we'll give away a lure.
All right. We'll figure out the details
and we'll work it out.
What do they get, Adam, if they post a hat picture?
Maybe a kick in the balls. That's what they. You realize that Ken Beam is 6'5" and he'd step on you and you'd look like the goose poop in the South Jersey swamps.
I don't care.
Whoa.
I don't have any interest in having
set him off again.
I have no interest in having a fight or of any sort with Ken Beam. I have no time for this guy. I don't even have I
won't talk about it anymore.
All right, listen. We're gonna talk. We're gonna figure out the details. Get one of our viewers, one of our listeners, one of these awesome lures. All right. The website again is craftyfisherman.com, correct?
Yep. And you want to look for AM Anglers.
AM Anglers. And I'm sorry, but the people want the hat contest and we got to keep it going. But other than that, I don't think there's any hard feelings.
Hats are fine. Just don't call him a communist, and please don't send Sasquatch porn.
I didn't do that.
We did not. Just to clear the record, Sasquatch porn. We did not.
But I got.
I didn't call him Beam. I called it Beam, and it Beamism. I didn't call him a communist. I called him like a Beamunist. His own little thing he's running over there. I didn't use That might have been Chris.
I may have used that term when he started blindly banning people. That's the only term that came to mind.
He took his ball and he went home, and I can't blame him.
Yeah.
But now we gotta play with our balls.
I'm starting to like the guy. He's got some fight in him. I like it. This guy's gonna end up being my best friend by the time this is over.
So. You guys challenged me to come up there and fish for bass, which if I have time, I will more than gladly come up there and do it. But there's just nobody here else in South Jersey that's on my level that could, fish with me. I catch all the fish in front of them.
Oh, so now it sounds like you're calling out the whole rest of South Jersey.
Oh, yeah, I would love for somebody to step up and be able to catch fish behind me.
Well, there you go. So you share this on your South Jersey sites because like we've said before, we would love for more South Jersey guys to get involved. It's just it's way out of our wheelhouse, but we're counting on guys like you to kind of spread this down there and get anyone who wants to be a part of it involved. And that's,
Yeah, the tough thing about South Jersey is we have much less water than you guys do. Even though we have the same amount of land space, our bodies of water are smaller. And actually, I think they're more highly pressured. So
really? Do you really?
I do. Every bass in our lakes has seen my black and blue jig. Every bass in our lakes has seen a Senko. They know what a trolling motor sounds like.
I feel like you could vanish into the Pine Barrens and just find little puddles that no one's fished in a while.
You can, but they're full of micro pickerel. And
yes, they are. I do know. That's what I used to do that all the time. It was fun.
The water quality is poor because of the acidity of the land around it.
From the cranberries.
It can't spawn very well. You'll catch fish here and there, but
it's also all fairly shallow. There's not much deep
correct
water there. But whatever. We're out of time. So anything else he has to plug, we have to get it over with because we're done. Hopefully,
you want to say anything else, Adam?
Adam, hopefully
you
come fish with us. We want you to come fishing with us.
I would love that. I absolutely would.
If you will make
come catch something other than a bass.
Yeah, we're gonna take you and show you some other species.
Anything that is not in South Jersey, I would love to catch. I love catching trout. I fly fished in Montana, in Maine, in New York, all over the U.S. basically. I enjoy catching other species. I'm in a multi-species club here in South Jersey, the only one of its kind. We're called Philadelphia Bass Busters. Even though we catch crappie, pickerel, perch, anything that swims, sometimes we'll even catch catfish. And we're the only club that allows live bait in our tournaments too.
That's cool. All right, so
my sunglass sponsor, Vut. They are in Burlington, New Jersey. They do prescription on any brand of sunglasses that you like. So if you want Costas, Maui Jim, Oakley, they can put your prescription and they take insurance.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
what? All right, we'll send them a bill too. Vut. Yep. Chris, send them a bill. Adam, thank you so much for coming on here and ruining my night. Hopefully we get to fish with you soon. Maybe you could show us a snakehead spot. And I want my glow in the dark lure. And other than that, I have nothing else to say.
Thank you guys. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Adam.
Happy trails, partner.
All right, so what should I do? Should we just cut the flip out scene out? All right.
I don't see Joe's face anymore.
No?
All right. Keep it going.
All right. So that was interesting. Adam Mihara, custom lure maker. In other real quick news, Round Valley has his tournament this weekend, 6 a.m. launch time, Saturday morning, 6 a.m. $30 non-members, $20 members, I think.
And the flyer info is posted on
RVA's Facebook page.
It's shared on the NJ Multi-Species Mayhem fishing page as well.
That is the closest thing. And I just want to say real quick, just so Adam understands, and I want everyone to understand, As you could tell, me and Chris, we're two people that don't really care about attention. Like, we're not, uh, we don't really care about like being famous, or that's not our like goal with our page or this podcast. Like other people, it is like they're just in it to have other people tell them how great they are, and that's not what this is. So, most of the best fishermen in the state of New Jersey right now, they're inside that group Mayhem. Aaron Graybill. I can't even read a list because I'll leave so many names out. But just if I throw Rob Jasonic, Aaron Graybill, Mike K, Fast Eddie, Reddy Selassie, me, Chris, Scott Tarnowski, Michael McClintyre. I mean, Scott Carroll, Justin Lerner, Mark Mercer. Who else? I mean, I could go on and on and on.
You're never gonna get
No,
through
I'll
it
never.
all. I mean,
I'll forget Eddie Mackin. I mean, I could go on and on. These are the best fish. These aren't guys from TV, and they're not from, the television. They're not fishing in British Columbia. These are guys that do, the Yanetta brothers. They're in there. These are guys that are doing it right here in New Jersey, and they're posting their pictures, and they're sharing their information, and they're commenting, and they're interacting within the group. We haven't really had to even step in and moderate anything. No one's been uncooperative, and everything's going fine in there. But I really do recommend, if you're not a member of that group, to go in that group, because that group is loaded with information if you go through it. And it doesn't stop all day. The information pours in all day.
and these anglers, we made this page, we made this podcast, we made this community that's hopefully going to grow. We made it to be the people's podcast, the people's page. Like, it's for the New Jersey anglers. That's why we said anyone can come on here. Just, you ask, we set it up, we get it on. Come on here, say whatever you want to say, have a discussion, go on the page, have an opinion about whatever you want. No one is going to kick you off because you think one way or the other about snakeheads. No one's going to kick you off because you tried to give someone a pointer on a fish that they let roll around in the dirt, and they threw it back in the water and it floated away, and they think it lived.
You just take Steve Horvath, for example. He's posting YouTube videos from his YouTube channel all over the multi-species page. On the other page, that would be removed. It would be taken down. Why would I take that down? That's a fisherman from New Jersey that's sharing information with you. He could post as many videos as he wants.
I don't know who wants to watch that. I don't know who on here wants to watch that. So I'm not going to remove it because there's going to be people on there that want to watch it. Why would I make the decision of what someone else is allowed to see or not see?
Because other people will
New Jersey fishing.
Other people will run these groups, and they'll make sure that just what's posted is their stuff, and that's it.
Exactly, and that's why we have this.
Okay, so that's out.
And the best anglers in New Jersey are enjoying using it.
They are.
And I'm telling you right now, if you are a novice angler, get on here, post your catches, get into conversations with some of these guys. There's not a single one of them that I know that won't give you some sort of tip or information if you start a conversation with them. And again, like I've said in the past, I'm not talking about you say nothing, you just creep on the site for like 6 months, and then you see a nice fish and you go, hey, where was that? Where'd you catch that? What was that lure on? That's not going to work. That's not being part of the community.
I agree. And it's just, I want the soap opera shit over, and we'll get back to fishing. It seems like now it's pretty much Dave. Now that we have Dave Aw as a moderator in our group, this is just pretty much not worth talking about anymore. It's just over with. So.
Oh, look, it's fun. It's still, the comedy's still got to be there. The ball busting still got to be there. That's part of fishing. It's hilarious. People love that shit. It's a contest. It's fun. It's going to go till the end of the month. You Photoshop the hat on your picture. You put it wherever. Put it in your profile picture. Put it on another site. Just put it out there. Get the fishing pictures out there. That's it. Contest goes to the end of the month. You get an entry into the drawing to win a 6-hour afternoon Lake Ontario salmon fishing trip on the King's Ransom with Captain Scott Tarnowski. And we're seeing if we can get free lodging at the Wickham House along with that as well.
Okay, so we're pretty much going to end the episode there. Like I said, now episode 10 is over, so we're going to try to now revamp the podcast and hopefully get new equipment, and the podcast may be a little different when we come back. We may even be gone for 1 week, who knows, but we will be back. We probably won't be gone.
We're not going to be gone for 1 week because we've got a real big guest coming next time.
Oh, that's right. Next week's Jerry Pastorino from the Fishmonger.
Yeah.
So
my favorite bottom fishing captain in New Jersey. Hands
yeah,
down.
so that's right. So we have to be ready for him. So hopefully we're going to have some changes to the podcast within a week, so we're not missing a week. So we will see everyone next week. Please hit the subscribe button and get inside that NJ Multi-Species Mayhem fishing group as fast as you can. Adam Mihara, Taylor Ham, he's pointing at the sign. Nice hat. Thank you very much, and good night, everyone.
Take care, guys.